Hey everyone, and welcome to this Loop Hero guide on the Necromancer. The Necromancer is one of the classes available in Loop Hero, and in this guide I'm going to be giving you an overview on how to play him, an example deck build that you can use to take advantage of his abilities, and I'm also going to give you an example as to how you can set up your tile set in the early, mid, and late game to maximize his items and his abilities in order to ensure that you take down the boss. Let's get started. The first thing you gotta know about the Necromancer is that, well, of course, like most Necromancers do, you basically summon skeletons. And the major thing here is that the skeletons are dependent on your items. The number of skeletons are dependent on your items, the strength of your skeletons are dependent on your items, and the types of skeletons you get is dependent on your items as well, okay? Now, the nice thing about the Necromancer is that you can also trait so that the skeletons take a lot of the brunt damage from you, and you generally use magic-based HP, which means that the sand dunes and the deserts don't normally affect you. So you often have options. You can go with the meadow for the consistent regeneration, or you can actually go with the desert in order to reduce the HP of all other units so you can take them down faster, which doesn't really affect you because you tend to use magic-based HP because of your amulet. So in the build, if you find that you need a little added sustain, you can go with the meadow. I like to do one or the other. In this case, we're going to run with just the desert because I really like the impact of the forest and the desert together, because the forest, although it says attack speed, for the Necromancer, the forest is going to increase his summon speed, which is extremely important. The cemetery is a good card right now because basically as a tile, it's relatively easy to beat, and they tend to give pretty good loot. The Grove we use because the Grove matched with the Blood Grove and the Oblivion, as I'll demonstrate in this video, will allow you to make a Hungry Grove, which will allow you to take a boss down to 20% health before it is automatically killed by the Grove, which is a huge benefit if you're relatively new to the game. And that 20% is the difference between winning and losing, right? We're going to go with the Spider Cocoon, which is the best card in the game right now. The Spider Cocoon allows you to basically draw a ton of cards, which allows you to build your thickets and your forests and your deserts and stuff, so that you take advantage of it. With regards to the golden cards, you can go with the Ancestral Crypt, which is pretty good. It gives you added sustain by giving you some additional HP with every kill. Or you can go with the Arsenal, which gives you an additional item as well. It's up to you. I tend to go with the Ancestral Crypt. Beacon is really important too because, again, with attack speed, it really benefits you because you're going to be summoning faster with the beacon, so it's super valuable. Okay, let's get started with the early game. Alright guys, here we are in the early game. Let's go through a couple core concepts you need to understand for those that may not have watched my other Beginner's Guide series. First of all, as a Necromancer, you want to maximize your summon speed. That is done through your thickets. Now, there's a reason why I'm not using the forest at all. In the current balance of the game, it is not, in my opinion, ever worth playing a forest or a desert in the game. Why? Because the way you reach the boss is by playing more tiles. The more tiles you play, the faster you reach the boss. However, what that means, if you play useless tiles, like for instance the forest literally has 1% attack speed, whereas the thicket has 2, it's half as effective. That means when you play ineffective cards, you get to the boss earlier and you're weaker. If you can use more effective cards, it guarantees a stronger finish when you fight the boss. It's the way the game works. There's no reason to use those cards right now. Balance might change it, but as of right now, you skip the forest, you skip the desert, you just use sand dunes, and you just use thickets, okay? You're running the river here. The river will effectively double the effectiveness of the thickets, so you're not getting 1 attack speed from a forest, you're getting 4 from a thicket. So it's a huge difference, and the thicket's going to allow you to summon your skeletons far faster, which with our item build, we're going to focus on max skeletons so we can, summon a ton of skeletons, okay? We're using the sand dunes because the sand dunes is going to lower the HP of everything, your skeletons, you, and the opponent, but the thing that it does not do is it doesn't affect your magic HP, which comes from your amulet. So you want to pay attention to getting magic HP on your amulet so that you can sustain and stay alive in your battles, okay? Again, you will get some healing from the Ancestral Crypt with everything you kill, and the Cozy Camp will of course heal you as well. Now, with regards to the beacons, you want to position them so that they're kind of scattered around to give you the added attack speed, which is summoning speed for your Necro. But most importantly, you want one to be over the Cozy Camp, because when one's over your Cozy Camp, it actually gives you a 20% summoning bonus, and the boss does not get the bonus. On every other tile, the bonus is applied, but on the boss tile, it's not. Could it be patched out? Maybe, but as of right now and as of recording, The boss does not get affected by the speed bonus. You do, okay? We also have the Blood Grove right at the cozy camp there, so that the boss, if it has 15% or less health, gets automatically killed. Later on, when we get an Oblivion card, we destroy this grove. This becomes a Hungry Grove, and it turns into 20%, okay? Which is great. The other thing we need to talk about here. Now, I'm putting some battlefields near the front so we can get some extra chests. And plus, if we get 2 in stack, we make a blood path. And the blood clots tend to drop good items, which is the same reason why I run the skeletons over here. But the major thing, and one of the most important things you need to understand, is that you always have to place your spider cocoons. The spider cocoons are the most valuable resource in the game right now because the spiders are weak, they're easy to kill, and they give you a ton of cards, okay? So what you want to do is you want to focus on killing these spiders, accruing a lot of cards, placing the river so that it kind of goes like this and down and across, even down and under if you wish. In this case, I'd probably go down and under because you want to make use of the river in order to maximize the effect, okay? The spiders are invaluable. Place every cocoon, place them in a line. I tend to place them in a line just so I can just burn through cards like crazy. Again, these cards aren't important. We want thickets, sand dunes, spider cocoons, and then we're going to summon that boss. Now, we're also going to be running the Oasis here and there. The reason for this is because, yes, it reduces your summoning speed by 0.5%, but it reduces the enemy's attack speed by 1%. Actually, by everyone's 1%. But the reason why this is important is because if you run a couple of them, okay, we don't want to slow down the attack speed of your skeletons too much, but if you run a couple of them, what's going to happen is it's going to slow down the attack speed of your opponents, which is going to help sustain your health, but it's also going to be offset by the fact you have so many thickets. So you're going to be summoning really fast. It doesn't actually impact you very much. It impacts everything else way more. However, we're only going to run a few of them, not like the rogue. We're going to run a few of them because we don't want to slow down the attack rate of our skeletons too much. We just want to impact the opposing team's damage on us so that we can survive, so we can keep popping skeletons up, okay? It's a fine balance, but we'll get there. Let's move on to the mid-game. Alright guys, in the mid-game what you want to do is you want to start maximizing your attack speed using your thickets, and also, you know, putting about 7% down on the other creature's attack speed is beneficial. The reason why we're doing this again is so you can summon far faster and get more units out, and then prioritize doing damage with your units as opposed to taking damage yourself, because if the opponent attacks too fast, they'll kill your skeletons before you're able to get enough up. So the negative attack speed is kind of really important, even though it impacts your skeletons as well. However, one thing I will note as well is, look, we've run a ton of cocoons here in the mid-game. This is feeding our river, and we're just going to keep populating the river with thickets as we move along. What we're doing, again, we've never used a single desert or forest yet. We'll use it when we want to close out the boss, and we just fill out our hand. One thing I'll also mention, so at this point in the game, you are really starting to focus on your items, okay? So with your items, you really want to focus on 3 things in this order. 1, skeleton level. Skeleton level is, without question, the most important part of this build. Secondly, you want to focus on max skeletons. Skeleton level and then max skeletons, okay? The bonus from there is going to be summon quality, which will give you an opportunity to summon better types of skeletons. But for this specific strategy with the attack speed and summoning more, you want skeleton level, then max skeletons, then summoning quality. Let me give you an example here. So we have a level 7 amulet here, okay? A lot of people would be like, oh, I'm a player and I see that this is a level 8 and it's a higher rarity. This is a lower rarity, level 7. I'm gonna swap these two. Absolutely not. The 8 very rare amulet has magic HP, which is beneficial, has more HP, but it has attack speed, regen, and evasion. We don't want any of that. The level 7 has magic HP, attack speed, and summon quality. We prioritize summon quality over regen, evasion, and attack speed. We take that amulet. It's very important that we choose the right items at this stage of the game because, like, it's RNG, it's a roguelite. Like, there's a chance you don't get the items you want. So by the mid game, you have to start prioritizing the right items at the right time, right? Even if it's just like a common item. If it's giving you skeleton level, take it. Okay? Picking the right items is extremely important in this build here. Now, let's talk about how we finish the game against the boss. When it's time to fight the boss and you're on your final loop, what you do is you basically just drop everything you have in your hand. So we're about to just trigger the boss, so I just put down everything. I put a whole bunch of deserts, I put a whole bunch of forests, and I'm going to continue. And we're going to drop a few things down. Another river, why not? Another river, why not? And we got ourselves the boss. Now, again, we've been focusing completely on skeleton level, summon level, and max skeletons. That's it. We've even tried to take the Art of Control when possible as a trait, which allows us to actually take advantage of the skeleton presence as well. Now, as we move through these fights, we are just straight up deleting guys, which is absolutely perfect. It's exactly what we want. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue doing this, and we're probably done with the sand dudes, but force, if I see a force, I'm just going to throw it down. Why wouldn't I? Just keep throwing it down. It's not going to impact the boss anymore. It's just going to make us a little stronger. And we can burn the rest. Oh, no. Oh, I almost forgot. No, you can't burn the rest. I almost forgot. I saved this for the end of the guide here. So what you're going to do is you'll notice that there's a blood grove here with a grove. What you're going to want to do is you're going to take an oblivion that you have and you're going to destroy the grove. And what's going to happen is this is going to change into a hungry grove, which is going to occasionally do 32 damage to you, but more importantly, it's going to kill the boss when they have 20 HP. So you just bought yourself an additional 5 HP as a little window, which is helpful if you're new to the game. Alright, I'm going to cut you ahead to the boss fight. Alright guys, we're at the boss, and I know we're going to smoke him. Why? Because this build is just, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. It is exactly what we need to do to defeat this boss. We raise a ton of skeletons, and then we just start deleting these guys. It's that simple. And again, once you fully start to understand the strategy behind this game, how you can utilize the different tiles to your advantage, like I'm not even paying attention. I know I'm going to smoke this boss. And we didn't even get the best traits, but it doesn't matter because we have so many skeletons, we summon them so fast. As soon as they die, they're just coming right back, and she's dead. She's dead, guys. It's that simple. And you know what? Again, it all comes down to understanding your strategy and making the best of your items, focusing on max skeletons, skeleton level, and summon quality, ignore everything else, right? Get your tickets for the attack speed, a couple oasis, and, you know, reduce the HP so you can kill them relatively fast. Anyways, guys, I hope that this helped you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and a very special thank you to all of our wonderful subscribers. If you're interested in more guides, check out the videos I have linked above. We will see you in the next video.